Now, listen, I've been saying all day, looking forward to having you coming on, Sebastian, because for a very long time, we've all been saying, where's Kamala Harris going? What does she never say? She never seems to say anything, doesn't do anything. Now that she has finally said something, I rather wish she hadn't.
She is this woman who is within a hair's breadth of becoming the president of the United States.
Yeah.
She is a cataclysm on legs. She is a walking disaster, a charismatic black hole. I mean, the fact that this woman hasn't done anything, despite the fact she was appointed, Mike, as the person responsible for the border, okay,
yes,
by Sleepy Creepy Joe.
Yeah.
A border which is now totally... You guys worry about the migrants coming across on the boats. We have an open border with 2 million illegal immigrants that are going to cross this calendar year.
Right.
One bridge in Texas, in Del Rio, had 12,000 illegals under it. The party that says they care for minorities, they care for women. Mike, there were 300 pregnant Haitian women under that bridge living in just subhuman third world. Yeah. Squalor. I mean, just stench and squalor because, hey, the Democrats, they love the little guy and they love women and they love minorities. And now this video with, do you remember, you're about the same age as me. You remember the Adam West Batman TV series?
Yes,
okay.
I do.
So they always had the super villains. You had the Joker, you had the Riddler.
The Penguin.
The Penguin. Kamala is the cackler, okay? This is a woman who gets off a plane in South Asia, is asked about the 13 U.S. servicemen and women murdered in Kabul by suicide bombers, and she cackles. She laughs.
Unbelievable.
And now they're giving her a scripted puff piece with kids, and we find out, Mike, that the kids are actors. 3 of them were actually auditioned for this propaganda piece about NASA because she's the president of the Space Council as well. It tells you the whole thing is a sham. It's a Potemkin village. Right. This administration is a disaster, and it's actually a charade on top of that.
Well, I'm very much taking a leaf out of Tony Blair's book there, because you remember when he marched triumphantly up Downing Street in 1997, and everybody went, look how pleased the world is. Look how we've got a young Prime Minister with children. It turned out they were all signed up members of the Labour Party who had come from the party down the road at the People's Palace, where they'd been drinking champagne all night, like true socialists, and they're all welcoming him up there, like, suddenly it's a new dawn. Oh no, it's like having your own supporters lining the streets and pretending they're not.
Let me tell you one. I'm going to break news right now on your show on the Independent Republic of Mike Graham on Talk Radio. Us in the America First Trump team, the people in the White House serving the Make America Great Again agenda, I guarantee you this, not once in 4 years did we have to hire any actors, okay?
Right.
When 60,000 people would fill a stadium at 0 minutes notice because President Trump, my old boss, was coming to town, guess what? Every single one of them was there because they love this nation and they love what the administration stands for. That is the epitome of populist politics where the forgotten men and women are represented. This old man, you know it, he hid in a basement for 6 months. This senile, non-compos mentis, creepy old git hid in a basement. There was one event, I'm sure you saw this, Mike. There's one event where they painted circles on the tarmac of where you were allowed to stand.
Right.
They couldn't fill 6 circles, not 600, not 600. They couldn't fill 6 circles of supporters for Sleepy Creepy Joe.
Yeah. I mean, unless this is the guy we're supposed to believe had 80 million people voting for him, right? But they couldn't go out. Right. They were all hiding inside.
Let me just, this thing about, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist if you think the election wasn't stolen. Let me talk to you about real evidence. I don't care about these outre, spurious discussions of algorithms and voting machines. How about this one, Mike? Are you seriously telling me that a senile machine politician of 47 years, an old white politician, got more votes than the first black president If you believe that, you're smoking something, and it ain't tobacco.
Well, you might have to ask. I might ask his son Hunter about that, of any kind of psychotropic drugs being ingested. But I was talking.
Well, at least he's found a new use for those.
I was talking to. I was talking to
right?
our good friend Lawrence Fox this week. He was in for Plank of the Week, and he's playing Hunter Biden in a movie.
I know. We want to get Loza on. I mean, what a great choice.
I'm
not sure what it's going to do for his reputation, but
he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
That's why we love him.
Yeah.
That's why we love him.
Right. He now calls himself a political jihadi, which is brilliant, right? He says, I'm never going to get elected. I'm just going to cause a lot of trouble for people. And that's brilliant for me. I mean, and that is, and I said to him, how are they going to be able to make a film about this guy because of all the stuff that he's doing? And is there any legal problems? He said, that's the first question I asked them. And they said, not a problem at all. Absolutely no problem. We're going to do everything we want because guess what? We're not trying to push it through a Hollywood studio. We're just going to put it out there.
Well, look, it's already out there. The laptops from hell, the 2 laptops that he left at that computer repair place that they tried to deny are his. Guess what? Hey, Hunter, when your lawyers actually demand to get the laptops back, I think it means that those are your laptops. When the footage, God bless the Daily Mail. I mean, seriously, why does it take a British newspaper, not an American one, to show us the video footage, the prostitutes, the cocaine, and on top of that, flipping hell, Mike, the fact that his voicemails, his phone conversations are on the laptops where he says, and I'll edit it for
Thank you. Please do.
Sake. He says, I'm in business with the effing chief spy of communist China. That's the son of the most powerful man in the world.
Yeah.
So it's all out there, but God bless Loza, can't wait to see the movie.
Yes. I mean, he's the kind of guy that in the old days when I was in Fleet Street, you'd go, well, let's see if he sues us, because we'd love to see him in court denying all this stuff that we've got on him, you know?
Well, and disclosure. If you go to court, you've got to disclose it all, dude.
Yeah.
Bring it.
Now, let's go back to Kamala, right? Because she's apparently blaming your ancestors and mine for completely ripping up America, colonizing it, killing everybody, and taking over. I mean, Columbus Day apparently to her doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, so let's add a little piquancy here. Somebody did some research. Kamala Harris's ancestors, like in Jamaica, owned slaves. They were big slave owners, okay? Harris's ancestors. So this is the last person that should be lecturing anybody about colonialism and imperialism. Yeah. Let's put that to one side. You're a truth teller. I'm a truth teller. Western civilization is the greatest civilization the world has ever seen. Yeah. She's got problems with Western civilization, then I guess she's got problems with modern medicine, representative democracy, the Industrial Revolution, rights for women, rights for ethnic minorities. Go and check out, I don't know, Afghanistan after your boss surrendered, and get back to me about other civilizations and how great they are. Yeah. This is self-flagellation. This is born of self-hatred. And this came to me last week, like a bolt from the blue. I realized, you know what the dividing line in America is? Who are the people who hate my old boss? I mean, really have this neuralgic detestation of Donald Trump. Yeah. It's the same people who hate America. Yeah. It's very simple. Yeah. If you hate what America stands for, if you hate freedom, individual rights, then you're going to hate Donald Trump. And this is just another person who hates America. And how weird, how perverse is it that people like Biden and Kamala, who hate America, want to end up running it? Isn't that a little bit twisted, Mike?
It is very twisted, and not just running it, changing it, right? Because what we now have in the Democratic Party is the sort of the shell of a lefty communist organization that would like to change the way that America operates. I mean, how ludicrous is it and un-American is it to try and give everybody free money or to return, student loans to people because there's no reason to pay them back? That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Last month, okay, this is shocking. This is the man who's said he's going to unite America, get us back on our feet after COVID, which, by the way, whether you take the vaccines or not is irrelevant. I heard your intro.
Yeah.
I had COVID. I'm never taking the vaccine. I've got more antibodies than any vaccine could give me. You're going to have to arrest me and tie me down to inject me to give me the.
Well, he'd probably quite like to do that, old Beijing Biden. That'd be the next suggestion.
Yeah, right. We shouldn't give him any ideas.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, who made those vaccines? Who made them possible in 12 months? A businessman, okay? Yeah. So this is what we need. We need a businessman right now. Why? 4 million people decided in August to resign, to leave their jobs. We need America back on its feet.
Yeah.
I spoke about this on my radio show yesterday. We've got 100 super cargo ships off the port of Los Angeles, 100 just sitting there because we don't have people to unload them on the docks because they prefer to sit at home, get their government check, and guess what? Little Timmy isn't going to get his Action Man for Christmas because Joe just is handing out free money.
Yeah. Well, that's the trouble, because people get used to having free money. They don't want to do anything. I mean, we've got the most ludicrous situation here where civil servants are all working from home. And they're not coming back because nobody seems to be able to make them. The DVLA, which is where we get our driving licenses from.
Oh, yes.
You send them off for a new license. You'll be lucky to get it back next year, about August, because... and now they're talking about going on strike, right? And you're going, sorry, how would we know whether you were on strike? You're already useless, doing nothing, and you're getting paid by the public purse. And it's an unbelievable situation. But the other thing I was hearing, Sebastian, as well, is the homeless problem in America is now absolutely unbelievable. I was speaking to our correspondent in San Diego the other day, and apparently the whole canyons in California are full of these kind of tented villages of thousands and thousands of homeless people.
Mike, forget California, which, by the way, was the most beautiful state of the union 60 years ago. I mean, and people flocked there because it was a paradise. All the kids.
What you mean after it was colonized by the Europeans?
Right after it was colonized by the rascally Europeans.
Yes.
California now has more than 50% of all our homeless. One state has more than 50%. And Mike, we got to get you over here. You got to come back to Washington. You got to come back to DC.
I'm coming for Christmas.
It's here. Superb. It's here. Hang on. You walk outside. You're in the beautiful federal capital, the Washington Monument. We have tent cities in the midst of the government quarter because Democrats. I mean, it's insanity. It looks like Calcutta, but you're in the capital of the richest, most powerful nation in the world. And that's not on me. It's not on President Trump. That's on the Democrats.
Yeah. It's incredible, isn't it? And I'm told that 7th Avenue around Penn Station in Manhattan is like a scene from that movie that Kurt Russell was in, Escape from New York. It's not a movie anymore. It's for real.
It is. It's a cross between Escape from New York and the one about the virus, I Am Legend, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. The end of days.
Again, Manhattan, not my cup of tea, but a great city. I mean, a great city.
Fantastic
city. And now it's a dystopian nightmare, Mike.
Right. Absolutely. And I've got it on pretty good authority, Sebastian, from one or two people who know about these things, that Joe Biden now is only really able to do work between certain hours of the day. And they have to kind of load him up, prop him up. He does something for a few hours, and he goes for a lie down. And then he does sort of anything in the evening. Because I worry that when he was making those speeches about Afghanistan, he looked to me like a guy who had been given something, like pepped up somehow.
It's without a shadow of a doubt. We noticed this in the first few months.
Yeah.
He never, ever gave a live... He doesn't do press conferences. I mean, he's rolled out there on wheels and stood in front of a teleprompter and he reads. He never did one past 6:30 at night. Why is that? My old boss, he slept 2 hours a night. When people used to ask me, hey, who's really tweeting at 4 a.m. on the president's account? I said, are you serious? It's not me. Right. It's President Trump, okay? He's working all hours God sends him. And you can see Biden just disappears. He takes his Horlicks at about 6 p.m. and then disappears. And you've seen it. When he comes up there and gives a speech, they jab him with something. He gets his Lucozade in him, and then he's off and rolling for about 20 minutes before he has to take a nap again. This is the man who is 20 feet away from the nuclear football that could initiate Third World War and launch our weapons.
I mean,
it's scary.
I mean, he might set it off in his sleep. Can you imagine?
You say, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that suitcase over there?
Honey, I thought it was the bell for my medication. Unfortunately, I've hit the nuclear trigger. I mean, it's Becker's belief, though, doesn't it?
Not only that, did you see the story talking about Potemkin villages and the actors hired for the oh so charismatic cackling Kamala video?
Yeah.
Did you see that when he got his second jab, they pretended it was in the White House,
right?
But it was actually in a fake White House in a studio across the street in the Eisenhower building.
Yes.
Hang on a second. Why? Why do you do that? You've got the Oval Office. You've got the White House. Does he have to be closer to the medical team? I mean, we have the surgeons in the basement of that building. Does he have to be closer to his Horlicks, intravenous?
Well,
what's going on there, Mike?
And is that the same thing? Because I read about this, that when he's doing his addresses to the nation as well now, he's not. It's a fake Oval Office. I mean, why would you want to fake the Oval Office, for heaven's sake?
I mean, I've been in the Oval Office. I've worked in the Oval Office. It's even cooler than the movies. But they had to make a fake one.
Right.
It makes you scratch your head, doesn't it? Just
Do you know
a little.
what? How about this for a theory? Maybe he's in Walter Reed Memorial, right? And he's actually hooked up to all these, life-saving pieces of equipment, and he's not in the White House at all.
He's like Darth
He's
Vader.
He's got a green screen in the operating theatre,
Don't encourage the conspiracy theorists, but there is something very strange going on here. There is an interview. I'm going to send you the clip where he said during the campaign, what happens if he gets into a Barney with the cackler, with Kamala? What happens if they have a disagreement? And this is what he said, word for word, Mike. He said, just like my agreement with Obama, if we get into a big disagreement on policy, I'll just invent a condition and retire. What? What did you just say? You're going to fake being ill, right? And you'll retire? He said that during the campaign trail. Isn't that a little bit creepy?
Well, everything's creepy about creepy. I mean, that's the thing. Now, listen, it's been a pleasure, Sebastian, as ever. Your great America First show is on Newsmax, right? You can get it?
No, yeah, the radio show is on Salem Radio. Sorry. You just go to sedgorka.com, and every week I have the Gorka Reality Check on Newsmax, and you can download the app and you can watch it. But more importantly, Mike, are we going to have a jar this Christmas?
Well, I'd love to. I've got to come and see my mother, and she's in Connecticut. So if I can get down to
not too far.
It's not too far. I don't know if you're anywhere near relatives up there or anything like that, because I'm not sure I'm going to be allowed out of the house once I'm there, because she's very protective of me, and she hasn't seen me for 2 years. But we'll figure something out for sure. But we'll talk before then anyway. Sebastian Gorka, America First. It's a radio show. It's a podcast. He's also got a TV show on Newsmax. He's a great man. He's one of our fellow travellers here at Talk Radio. Common sense personified.